Hey, what's up, you guys? Jason here with 615 Fishing with a quick episode for you. I have this footage in the can and wanted to make sure to get it out there. It's actually not footage, it's photos. So I'm going to show you a slideshow like your parents did. No, this is a fishing story. So I might actually kind of put a graphic up here. Fishing story. Maybe. But this is about the first time that I decided to take somebody out to a creek, acting as kind of a guide for them, putting them in a creek. They hadn't necessarily fished in a creek before, or had fished in a creek and had never been successful, however you want to word that. But it was the first time that I said, yes, I'll take you out. I'll take it upon myself to make sure that you catch fish, watch what you're doing, and make sure you're doing the right things, casting, what you're doing with your baits, all that kind of stuff. And I actually took them to a spot that I had not been to before. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage, and we'll see about how this actual trip went. All right, you guys, so this is the trip. This is my buddy Skip. That was one of the first fish that he caught when we were out here. Now, this day we decided to go to Mill Creek, and it was close. At that time, we were all working together. We were all working at a big box fishing store. I can't imagine you'd figure that one out. But yeah, we were working at Bass Pro in the Nashville area. And we all decided, hey, let's go jump in a creek. And I decided I would help them get into a spot that would get them some fish. So this was the first catch of the day, and he was elated with that catch. I know it's just a little rock bass, but you know, when you go out and you wade creeks over and over again, you don't catch anything. It's frustrating. So when you finally do get that big catch, oh man, it makes you happy. Makes you super happy. So Skip was super happy here. This was hilarious. I really wish I had this on video. But this guy, he had not caught a decent smallmouth before, and he had kind of a noodle rod, which is fine, you know. What does Richard Jean call them? Sow belly rod. So it was super bendy, and when he hooked into this fish, it was a sight to see. He was excited, and he was hollering and trying to reel the fish in, but he was worried he was gonna miss it. The rod was bent completely in half. I was laughing. It was just a wonderful thing. And he said at the time when he pulled this fish out, he'd not caught one that size before. So he was super happy. You can tell by his smile here that he really enjoyed catching this fish. And it ended up being a story to tell. So it was awesome. We took 2 pictures. We made sure you had good pictures of that fish. Actually, you know what? You go back and you look at that. If you can see what he's fishing with right here, that's that little hellgrammite that it's like a little Uncle Buck's hellgrammite that you get in the crappie section at Bass Pro, just in case you were wondering. And of course, you know, once both of my buddies caught fish, I was like, okay, I can fish now. So I started throwing a little bit and caught me a little smallmouth. Then Skip got into this one, which I think this is an awesome looking fish. It almost looks like a hybrid because it doesn't look like much of a smallmouth that I've ever seen. But if you've been in Mill Creek, or any creek really, and you see those little sucker fish on the bottom of the creek, those guys are really spotted like this. But this smallmouth got that kind of, it's not really even the normal stripes that you would see on a smallmouth, but it had these splotchy stripes, and I just thought it was a super unique fish. Really pretty fish, and he was excited to get it as well. And that's just another close-up of that fish and how the spots and the stripes kind of make him look like a hybrid there. And this is, you know, people say, hey, how you get 3 people in a creek? But obviously it worked. When you're moving through the creek, you just move slow. You let one person kind of lead and fish on one side, and second guy fishes on the other, and the third guy fishes towards the rear of your group. It works pretty good. They were super happy this day. It was kind of early spring. It was almost too hot to be wearing waders, but the water was chilly. And there's another one on the way back. I believe I caught this one. And this just kind of shows you how wide the creek was. So I think this one was taken by Skip. And you can see I'm on one side of the creek, he's on the other. And that's kind of how you split it up. You know, you fish one side and your buddy fishes the other side. I also like to kind of do some hopscotch or some leapfrog, where if the guy in the front catches a fish and gets it in his hand and releases it, then the guy in the back kind of moves forward and gets in the front as you're moving up the creek. And you can see here we are side by side, so you can see how that works. And this is when you're trying to say, hey, fish over here. This is a good little spot. You get under this little tree over here. You're kind of trying to give them advice on where you're casting in a creek, that kind of thing. There's just another spot where we're kind of on the same side. This was obviously taken by Skip as well. And there's that fish again. That's that awesome hybrid looking smallmouth. I actually put this picture, I believe it's this picture, on a website. Oh, it's the one with Skip, and it's been viewed 18,000 times. 18,000 times. I'm assuming because of that fish, but that's a great pose. Skip looks great there. And that being said, my boy here, his image has been viewed 27,000 times. It's crazy. But you can tell, man, when you get in a creek and you find these fish, it's a good time. If you haven't fished in a creek, you should. There's so many advantages to it, and you can usually do it locally. So if you haven't gotten in a creek, make sure to do that. And that's it, y'all. My little fishing story. Yeah, that's my fishing story. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like fishing content. I've got actual trips, like with video footage, and pretty soon I'm going to be getting into the footage from my new camera, which will be really nice footage for sure. I've got several trips coming up that I'll be posting. But make sure we're into that comment zone now, guys. So I am going to be doing another giveaway. So if you comment, all the comments from here on out until I make it to 500 subscribers will be entered for a chance to win the next prize package, which I haven't really thought much about what I'm going to put in it. Maybe some haze dongs. I know I talk about those all the time. The megabass haze dong, it catches me a lot of fish and a lot of different species. Maybe that crappie max that I use all the time. Maybe that's a good one. Both of those are great little baits. You pair them with a simple jig head that I think I've talked about, the crappie max XL 16th ounce. Great for creeks. I mean, you just can't mess up with that combination. You can't mess up with that. But anyway, like, subscribe, tell your friends. If you want to go fishing, get out there, jump in a creek. If you're not confident in the creek, if you're not, if you're wading creeks and you're not catching anything, or you miss a bunch of bites or whatever, holler at me. If you're in the Nashville area, I'll put you in a creek. I don't care. We'll go do it. If you're a guy that's a good fisherman and you're not teaching somebody to go and fish in a creek, maybe you should reach out and do that. Help a kid, put a kid in the water. Otherwise, hey, that's 615 Fishing. We'll see you next time.